Hello, my name is Elle Gilbert. I am an Eagan Funfest Ambassador alumni and a current member of the Eagan Funfest Ambassador Committee. The ambassadors are youth representatives of the community and of their host organization, Eagan's July 4th Funfest. The Ambassador Program is a scholarship opportunity for boys and girls aged 10 to 19 who are interested in leadership, volunteerism, community interaction, and public appearance activities. Beginning in May, the candidates participate in a series of judged events leading up to Eagan's July 4th Funfest. 6 of the candidates are then selected to serve as ambassadors for the upcoming year. Today, the 2015-2016 ambassadors will share their perspective about the candidate process and their experiences as ambassadors. Now let's learn a little bit about the ambassadors.
My name is Ashley Harwell. I'm 18 years old and I go to Eastview High School. I'm currently working 2 jobs.
I am Megan Baggett. I am 13 years old. I am currently a student at Dakota Hills Middle School, and my sponsor is Metropolitan Pediatric Dental Clinic. And I am a swimmer for Riptide and a student council president for Dakota Hills.
Hi, I'm Sylvia Berger. I'm 11 years old and I attend Blackhawk Middle School. My sponsor is Witch Witch. I participate in Girl Scouts and a speech team.
Now let's learn some things about the ambassador candidate process. Ashley, how did you find out about the ambassador program?
I found out about the program through my sister Megan because she did it a few years ago in 2012, I believe. And so she kind of got me into it and encouraged me to try it out.
What about you, Sylvia?
I knew the past ambassador alumni, Peyton Greenlee. She did track and Girl Scouts with me, and she told me about it, and that's how I figured it out.
Megan, what did your friends and family think about you being an ambassador candidate?
My friends and family thought that at first they thought as it was like going to be like as a princess and all, but I had told them that it was more like being a person for your community and going to coronations and parades and such things like that. But they were really proud of me and really happy.
And Ashley, what did your friends and family think? I'm sure that they're very excited.
Yeah, my family was really encouraging because a lot of my family members participate in community events like this. So they really encouraged me and kind of pushed me to try it out.
All right, this is a question for all of you. We can start with Ashley. Describe your participation in the candidate family potluck picnic. What did you bring and why did you bring it? And describe a little bit about what the event was.
At the potluck event, we brought a food item to kind of give insight into like who we are and like just our favorite food. I brought chocolate chip cookies because when I go to my grandma's house, that's what we do. We all kind of bake together and it's like a family tradition kind of thing.
I brought pandesal, which is a Filipino's bread, which is called poor man's bread. And I brought it because I am very proud of where I came from and that I also love the bread, pandesal. And yeah.
I brought chili because I did it more symbolically. The meat was the people that I know and I'm very close with, and the beans were the people that I want to meet or the people that I want to be closer with.
Clever. Describe how you introduced yourself to the Funfest committee during the Meet the Candidates event.
For me, I wore a lot of band gear because I enjoy music, and also I wore tie-dye shoes because for me that represents like peace and like anti-war kind of like. And we also got to like describe ourselves to the judges, so it was nice seeing them again.
Just like what Ashley said, we had introduced ourselves to the committee and said, you know, our name, age, and school we were in, and our sponsor, and it was a nice experience. Also, just seeing all of the committee members that were in there, just you know, seeing like how much people are participating in our community was really nice to see.
Yeah, With me, I wore my everyday clothes because I just really wanted to show that like I'm comfortable with just being myself and everything like that. And it was really good. Even though we had talked at the potluck, it really just helped even more just to speak to more people, and it was just a way to get closer with the other candidates.
What is one lasting impression that you remember most about the candidate interview process with the judges?
During the interview, at first I was really nervous, kind of because I knew they'd be judging me while I was there, and I didn't really know them that well. But as the interview like went on, they kind of like joked around with me, and like they were comfortable there, so it made me comfortable. So I enjoyed having them be like so friendly to me and welcoming.
For me, at first, I felt a bit nervous, but once I came into the room, I felt more comfortable just seeing their faces. And the time passed by, and then I felt like I was talking to a group of friends in the lunch table. It felt really nice because by the time in the end, it felt like I really know them and they know me. So that's how I felt.
Before, I was really nervous, but when you walk in there, they had like big smiles, and it made you feel really comfortable. And it wasn't hard questions; it was really easy ones, like what kind of pets do you have? And I said a pet snake, and they all freaked out, and it was really funny. And they just became really good friends with you, and it wasn't hard at all.
Sylvia, tell me about the coronation practice. What did you need, or why did you need to practice for coronation?
Well, it was just to make it familiar, so you knew what was going to be happening. And we practiced wearing the shoes that we were going to be wearing so you didn't trip and fall. Or we also did the mystery question, so where they pulled a question out of a hat, and it was sort of mystery, but we had to practice some questions that we might get.
Now let's talk about some of your experiences after you were selected to be a Funfest ambassador. Megan, what has been the most fun aspect of being an ambassador?
One of the most fun aspects of being an ambassador was to see everyone's smiling faces in your community and other people's community, especially in parades. I always look forward to parades because when I wave towards, especially little girls or little kids, they always look up to you and smile and just say, "Oh my gosh, she has a crown." And I think the fun aspect of being an ambassador is just seeing others smile.
Ashley, what was your favorite volunteer event and why?
I really liked going to the prom at the old folks' home because I feel like they make it bored a lot, so it was really fun like having them dance, and a lot of them, if you like invited them to get up, they would get up and dance with you. And even just like getting them pumped and seeing them smile and have a good time listening to the music was really fun.
Sylvia, what about you?
My favorite was the Halloween hodgepodge because it was really cool to just see different kids just dressed up in really cool costumes. There were over 17 Elsas, but it was just really cool. And I love just seeing the kids having fun on Halloween, which is my favorite holiday. So I just really liked that.
This next question is for all of you again. Describe how you were able to balance your ambassador activities with your other extracurricular activities that you're involved in. How are you able to prioritize that?
Well, for me, I have 2 jobs, so it's a little difficult, but as long as I get my ambassador schedule, I can ask for them off at work, and I told my jobs that I was going to be a part of this, so they're really understanding if I need to miss work or if I can't ask for it off ahead of time. So, and I try to be really organized. Like I use a calendar, and just my managers being so understanding helps me a lot.
For me, in at least every single event, I guess, I had a swimming event or a Dakota 4-H event. So the only thing that I had to manage was the timing. So at least in my swimming team coach, she did know that I was part of this, so she understand that I had to leave early for practice or for a meet. And for Dakota 4-H, they know that I was part of this as well. So they were really understanding of how much time and effort that I put into this. So all I have to say is to get your schedule laid out and also the timing.
I'm a Girl Scout, and I'm also, I go to Hebrew school, and I'm actually on my way to become a bat mitzvah. So it's a little hard, but usually it's pretty easy. Sometimes there's busy weeks, but usually it's pretty good.
All right. Ashley, describe one thing you have learned from working as a team with the ambassadors.
I've learned how to be better at including everyone, I guess, because there's kind of a lot of us. So being able to be okay with all their energy, because they're super energetic, they kind of bring you up, and I've learned that it's okay to be with people younger than you because they keep you uplifted and keep the mood up high. So I love that.
Is it true? Do you have a lot of energy?
Yep.
Sylvia, ambassadors represent the Funfest throughout the year at many events outside of Eagan. Describe one of those events.
The Winter Carnival Junior Royalty Coronation. It was so cool because it was so big, and there were so many nice people there. There were so many other royalties to meet that we hadn't seen before, and it was just really big, and everybody was really nice, and I thought that any of the candidates could make it because they were all so nice and so sweet, and it was just really nice.
Megan, do you want to describe another event?
Another event that we went was the Winter Carnival Parade. The Winter Carnival Parade, it was a really nice time to go and participate in the parade, since there were other royalties in there and we get to meet them before the parade. And then finally, while the parade was going on, all of the other royalties were in their places and we were holding snowflakes. It was a really fun time.
I'm going to open this question up to all of you. What advice do you have for someone who is considering becoming an ambassador candidate?
I think they should try it out, even if they're kind of iffy on it, because even as a candidate, it's a really fun experience. And you get to meet a lot of new people from different cities, and it's nice to have those connections with them, and really fun just knowing people and seeing them outside of the program, because they're so welcoming and friendly.
The advice that I have to give for someone who is thinking about to be a candidate is that just have confidence in yourself, and that just be confident, be yourself, and have just, have the thing of where you love yourself and that you're proud of who you are, and be confident.
I would say go for it. Even as a candidate, you learn so many new skills about talking to people, and it helps. If I hadn't gotten in, I still think I would have had a benefit from it, because you're speaking to so many new people, and it's just putting yourself out there, and it really helps.
Well, thank you, ladies. We will be back right after this with the next set of ambassadors.
ETV, Eagan Television, is your source for everything local in Eagan. From local high school sports to local government, community events, concerts, profiles and stories of your friends and neighbors. For a list of ETV channels and how you can get involved with Eagan Television and make your very own show, log on to www.eagan-tv.com or call 651-848-4698.
We are back with our second group of ambassadors. So ladies, please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Lily Bridey. I'm 13 years old. I go to Dakota Hills Middle School. My sponsor is Lyman Companies. And some things I like to do are I'm a diver, I club dive, and then I do it for the school. And I'm also on our student council.
I'm Ashley McCann. I'm 14 years old. I go to Dakota Hills Middle School, and my sponsor is Northwood Dental. My hobbies include diving, and I also do Girl Scouts, and I'm on the student council as vice president.
My name is Leah. I am 12 years old. I go to Blackhawk Middle School, and my sponsor is Green Mill Restaurants.
Some things I like to do outside of school are I dance competitively, I play my clarinet inside school, and I also bake.
Now let's learn some things about the ambassador candidate process. Ashley, what is one of the reasons that motivated you to become a candidate?
For me, I learned about the program in 6th grade as my English teacher, Miss Abbas, told me about it and how boys were now allowed to do it and how it was a scholarship. That year I didn't do it, but the next year I found posters for it and I'm like, I want to do this, and I decided to try it, and it's been so fun so far.
What about you, Lily?
Well, I didn't really know much about it, and Ashley actually asked me if I wanted to do it with her, and so I ended up going to the meeting, and it seemed like a lot of fun and something pretty interesting to do, so I decided to become a candidate.
All right, this question is for all of you. Describe the candidate family potluck, what you brought, and why you chose to bring that dish. You can start.
Okay.
We'll go down the line.
I brought little mini cheesecakes with chocolate chips on them because my sister used to bring those to all her dance banquets. Then I brought them to gymnastics banquets. So everyone really seemed to like those, so I decided to bring it to this. And then we had to go up in front of the judges and all the other candidates' families and say why we brought the dish.
I brought Andy Mint cookies, which is like a chocolate chip cookie but with Andy Mints. And I brought them because we always make them for Christmas for our family, and they all love them, so I thought it'd be a good thing to bring. And at the potluck, we got together really good, the whole 7 of us we had back then, and then one sadly got into a crash and had to drop out. But we got along really together. We started dancing, and we formed a little group, and it was just a really great time because we bonded right then.
I brought brownies because it represented me and my grandma baking. I always go up to the cabin and I always get to bake with my grandma. I've been baking since I was 6, I believe. And that's what I brought. It was really good. Like all of the other dishes were also really good too.
This next question is for all of you again. Describe how you introduced yourself to the Funfest committee during the Meet the Candidate night.
So we had to go up there in front of the Funfest committee, and we had to describe what we were wearing. And so I had on a swimsuit towel because I'm a diver, and then I also had on like a gymnastics Leo. And we really had to learn how to project our voice so that people in the back could hear us.
I wore my swim and dive shirt that I got in 7th grade, my Girl Scout uniform, my Girl Scout vest, and volleyball knee pads. And one of the nice things about that event was we got to introduce ourselves to the Funfest committee panel. And now they come to our events a lot and see us, and then they know a little bit more about us.
I wore a Delta hat because I love to travel, and my mom also works for Delta. I wore a Turning Point Dance Studio shirt because I'm a competitive dancer. I've been competitive dancing for about 6 to 5 years. I wore a tap shoe because I love to tap, and I have a tap solo this year, and I'm really excited about that. And I also wore a ballet shoe because I think ballet is the core of dance, and you really learn a lot from ballet.
What is one lasting impression that you remember from the candidate interview process with the judges?
So I was pretty nervous for the interview process, and then when you got in there, it really wasn't as bad as I was expecting because it was pretty easy questions. It was just like, who's your favorite singer and things like that. So it was all about you, and they really just wanted to get to know you. And so afterwards, I felt really good about it because it wasn't as hard as I was expecting.
I, on the other hand, was very excited to do this. I'm like pumped, and when I went in, I was so excited, so ready. I was maybe bouncing a little bit in the chair. But I found it really nice that they asked you questions based on what you wrote. They were asking like what a caddy is for Girl Scouts, which is basically somebody that will take care of little kids at camps, and you volunteer with that. And I just found it nice that they were asking based on your what you wrote instead of basically asking like basic questions.
Like what Lily and Ashley said, I really liked how they got to know you, And one of the questions that I remember the most was the one that I kind of got stuck on. What was your favorite movie? And of course, the last movie I saw was Inside Out, so I immediately said Inside Out. It's a good movie, but it's one of my favorites, but not my favorite. But it's a really good movie though. And I know, weird. And I liked how they really got to know you, like I said before. And they were all really interested about learning who you are and what you like to do.
Well, Ashley, how did you feel about participating in the Strawberry Festival Parade for Cottage Grove, which was your first parade as an ambassador candidate?
I was really excited because the parade was a great way to learn what you're going to do as an ambassador, how to set the float up, and when you go to the Sparkle Breakfast, which is the breakfast for the royalty, they made you feel like you were actually royalty and just not just a candidate for the program.
Lily, describe the ambassador coronation event and how you felt that night. Were you nervous? Were you excited? What was going on in your head?
So for the coronation, I was really nervous, but I was also really excited because the whole Sparkle section was there, and beforehand we got to go and talk to them. And then right at the beginning of the coronation, we had to get up, and there was a fishbowl question drawn, and we had to answer that. But the questions weren't really that bad. I was really nervous for that, but it was more just some things about Eagan. And then we listened to the speeches, and it ended up being really fun because we all got chosen, and we were all pretty close.
Yep.
Well, now let's talk about some of your experiences after you were selected to be ambassadors. Leah, describe how being an ambassador has changed you.
I have changed so much because before I was really shy and didn't really talk to people, but now after I started the ambassador program, I was so open to trying new things. I was, like I said, really, really shy before. I didn't like to talk to anyone, but when I learned about this, I definitely got into that.
Ashley, tell me about an interesting person that you met during the ambassador events and describe why they made an impression on you.
So when we went to Crowning Achievements, which is a royalty program for special needs people, there was one really person that stuck out to me. They got to do a talent, so she chose to play the drums and a cymbal. So she'd play the drums, she'd walk over and hit the cymbal, then she'd go back and play the drums, and then she'd run over and hit the cymbal, then she'd run back, play the drums, she ran over, grabbed the cymbal, came back, placed it down, ran with her, played with her drums, and then crashed the cymbal. She was so excited, and it just reminded me to smile and make people happy, because that's what's important in life.
This is a question for all of you. Describe how you were able to balance the ambassador events with other extracurricular activities that you're involved in. How did you prioritize your time?
Well, ambassador normally came first because we made a commitment for a year. But I talked to my diving and my gymnastics coach at the time, and they were really supportive about it, and they understand if I have to miss a practice every once in a while. And the ambassador program really helps you learn how to manage your time.
Like Lily said, ambassador is very important, but I also think grades are too. So if I need to, I could take it off because I can always make it up later. And it does help prioritizing your life and time because you're saying, I need to get my homework done, and then I have the ambassador event. And I really learned time management through this.
So I had to skip some dance and a little bit of ambassadors too, but when I told the managers of the dance studio, they were really supportive of me and were all for it. They said, you're going to do great, and I think I have done great this year.
Leah, ambassadors represent the Funfest throughout the year at many events outside of Eagan. Describe one of those events.
Well, I remember the winter carnival. That was so much fun because we got to be in the parade and we got to hold 10-pound snowflakes. We got to start out the parade and it was really fun. I remember meeting one girl. Her name was Ashley, and she was from Wisconsin. And
not this Ashley.
Not that Ashley, no. But yeah, she was from Wisconsin and she was so energetic. And I really liked that event because we got to meet a bunch of different people from all over the U.S.
I will open this question up to all of you as well. What advice do you have for someone who is considering becoming an ambassador candidate?
I would say if you're considering becoming an ambassador candidate, that you should definitely go for it, or at least go to the meeting, because you learn a lot about it, and this has changed me so much because I was a really shy person, like Leah said, but this has helped me so much, like learning how to talk to people. And if you try it, you really have nothing to lose.
Like Lily said, you should just go to informational meeting, learn about it, and try. You can't fail while trying. You're always going to miss the shots you don't try to do, but you can always make the ones that you do try. And that's like this experience, and it's been really good because I made 5 new best friends.
So my advice is don't be shy and speak out, because if you're shy, you're going to miss a lot of things that are open to you. And I was shy in the beginning, and I missed some opportunities, but I'm not shy anymore, and I speak my mind, in a good way, of course. So yeah, that's my advice.
Well, thank you, ladies. We hope the ambassadors have answered some questions that you may have about becoming a Funfest ambassador candidate. We encourage both young men and women to participate in the program. We are very excited to announce that the ambassador program is expanding to welcome candidates from not only Eagan, but also Apple Valley, Rosemount, Mendota Heights, Burnsville, and Sunfish Lake. There will be an informational meeting on Wednesday, May 11th at 7 p.m. at the Think Mutual Bank in Eagan for potential candidates and parents to find out more about the program. Join us at Eagan's July 4th Funfest celebration, July 2nd through the 4th at Eagan Central Park, and our ambassador coronation on the 11th at the Community Center. We hope to see you there. For more information about the Eagan Funfest and the ambassador program, please visit www.eaganfunfest.org. Thanks for watching.